Rome's legions were the most feared force in the ancient world, disciplined, brutal, and seemingly unstoppable. But what if I told you their greatest threat wasn't a barbarian horde, but gold? This is the wild, true story of Jugurtha, a North African king who weaponized corruption, not swords, to bring the Roman Republic to its knees. He bribed senators, mocked justice, and turned Rome's love of wealth against itself. In the end, it wasn't an army that almost broke the Republic. It was one man's wallet. The story begins in Numidia, a kingdom in North Africa and longtime ally of Rome. When its king died in 118 BC, he left the throne to two sons, Adherbal and Hyamsal, and their cousin, Jugurtha. Now, Jugurtha wasn't just any prince. He had served alongside Roman generals in Spain and had learned a brutal truth. Rome's nobility would sell anything if the price was right. It didn't take long for chaos to erupt. Jugurtha had Hyamsal assassinated. Then he went to war with Adherbal. Outmatched, Adherbal fled to Rome, begging the Senate for help. He expected justice. What he got was betrayal. Rome sent a commission to investigate, but Jugurtha knew how the game worked. He flooded Rome with bribes, bags of silver to the right senators, deals whispered in marble halls. And it worked. The commission ruled in his favor, handing him the richer half of Numidia. Jugurtha had literally bought half a kingdom with gold. But he wasn't done. If you're enjoying this story of gold, betrayal, and empire, hit subscribe and drop a comment below. Who else should we cover next in the Silent Dynasties series? In 112 BC, Jugurtha invaded again, this time besieging Adherbal in the city of Cirta. He ignored Roman warnings, took the city by force, tortured Adherbal to death, and slaughtered Roman merchants caught inside. That finally pushed Rome to act. The Senate declared war, but even then, gold kept talking. The first Roman commander in Africa quickly signed a ridiculous peace treaty. No punishment, no justice, just silence, bought and paid for. Outraged citizens demanded answers. A fiery politician named Gaius Memmius forced the Senate to summon Jugurtha to Rome under a promise of safe conduct. Jugurtha walked into Rome not as a fugitive, but as a man who owned the system. But when asked to name the senators he had bribed, a tribune named Gaius Bibius, secretly on Jugurtha's payroll, stood up and vetoed the testimony. In front of the Roman people, Jugurtha gagged the law itself. Then, while still in the city, he had another rival cousin assassinated and calmly walked out of Rome. As he left, the historian Sallust claimed Jugurtha looked back and said, "A city for sale and doomed to fall once it finds a buyer." Jugurtha's boldness turned him from a local king into a national scandal. His open contempt for Rome's authority shattered the Republic's illusion of moral superiority. The war dragged on, poorly. Roman generals kept failing. Rumors of bribery surrounded every defeat. But then, in 107 BC, a new leader emerged, Gaius Marius, a general from humble origins. Tough, ruthless, uninterested in Roman aristocrats or their bribes. Marius overhauled the army, trained it into a deadly machine, and pursued Jugurtha across the deserts of North Africa. No more deals, no more leniency. Jugurtha's guerrilla tactics were no match for Marius's discipline. Still, he survived, barely, by running to his powerful father-in-law, King Bocchus of Mauritania. But even alliances had their price. One of Marius's officers, a young noble named Lucius Cornelius Sulla, struck a secret deal with Bocchus. In exchange for land and Roman recognition, Bocchus betrayed Jugurtha, delivering him in chains to Rome in 105 BC. Jugurtha was paraded through the city during Marius's triumph, stripped of power, dignity, and gold, then thrown into the Tullianum, a dark Roman dungeon where he slowly starved to death. But in a way, Jugurtha had already won. He had peeled back the mask of Roman virtue, exposing the rot inside its institutions. He didn't just corrupt Rome, he revealed that Rome was already corrupt. And centuries later, his story still stands as a warning. No empire, no matter how powerful, can survive when gold outweighs honor. This is Silent Dynasties. And this is just one of many stories they tried to erase. But we're bringing them back.